So right now I'm running an ad on Twitch. If you're watching, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. So on that, it's a 2-minute ad. So when the 2-minute ad is done, we're gonna start the stream. But today we're gonna be working on just fixing the saving the commands. So we added a way for us to add commands. Oh, we have a new subscriber. Lator, thank you for subscribing. I mostly appreciate it. Hey SSB, how's it going? So right now I'm running an ad, so only subs could see the stream. So the goal is, the reason why I run an ad is because we are gonna get about an hour of time where people that are not subscribed, they wouldn't see an ad, sorry, pre-roll ad. So that's kind of what I've been trying to achieve here by just running that ad. Yeah. Slator, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for using your Prime for subscribing. Also, if you guys, is there like I added Ascension a while back, so let me know if you could see it. So the Ascension itself promotes people to subscribe with their Amazon Prime. So you just have to double check that it's working correctly. But yeah, so today is gonna be fun. We are gonna have the double streams where we're gonna have the coding stream until like 5 or 6, and then we are gonna have the gaming stream around 8. It's gonna be fun. So I'm watching the stream again. Give me a second. Oh, yeah, it's there. It's gonna be fun. So we are probably gonna play Rocket League today because it's free. It became free sometime this week or last week, so we're gonna try to play it. Cool. So I'm not sure. How is this camera? It looks very slow for me. Like very laggy. I have to refresh my the dashboard for the stream, so give me a second. Okay, cool. I think we're back from the ad. Hey Sar, how's it going? So we had to run. Okay, yeah, it's a bit laggy for me too. So just refresh everything to make sure that it's working correctly. But I hope the stream is not laggy for most people. Cool. Cool. Let me know if you see any issues with the stream itself or if it's laggy. I see. I hope it's okay. It looks a bit laggy for myself too. Hey Kiaru, how's it going? I catch your stream. Okay, so it's a bit laggy, so I might have something else running somewhere. I don't have anything else running. You might have to refresh. Okay, so if it's laggy, try to refresh and see if that helps. Okay, cool. Kiaru, I watched your stream. I've been watching you play Spellbreak. I think I told you I was watching you play yesterday or the day before. So it was very cool to watch you play. Cool. I'm glad that the stream is stabilizing. Okay. Cool. So what we're doing today is, so we added a way for us to add commands to our chatbot by running a command, something like this one here. Yeah, so we added a way to, I added a way to add commands like this. So for example, if I do, yeah, I really like it too. So .files. So we added this command, a way for us to add commands. So .files, our bot doesn't know what .files is, so it's gonna fail. Okay, so it failed. And if we just do this and do .files again, it works now. So we added a way to add commands. The only issue is that those commands are not saved anywhere. And if we restart our bot, so if we go back here, and we restart it, so we are restarting it now. It just doesn't work. So if we go back and we do files, it doesn't work. We get an error now because that command was lost. So the goal of today is to be able to save those commands and see how it goes. I also turned off the auto join. So when people join, we used to send a message. I changed it to have to be a command now. So if we do today, so it's gonna tell you what we're gonna be working on today. So this is more clear and doesn't spam the chat. So that's kind of some of the changes that we did. And there's some commands in this in the title of the stream that you could also run during the stream. But today the goal is to be able to save the commands that so moderators and myself are able to add new commands through the Twitch chat. So that's kind of the goal of today, is just taking those commands that they're adding, or I'm adding myself, and be able to save them, or also be able to if we restart the bot, we don't want to real source commands, we want to save them. So I'm gonna save them into, so right now the way it works is that we're loading commands from a example. So we have a configuration file and we are adding the commands to that configuration file. So the goal will be probably to be able to save the commands here. So if you add a new command, like the .file ones, we should add a new entry here. So that's kind of what I was thinking of doing. I was also thinking of having it as a separate file, but it could be very troublesome to have a separate file for now. So I'm just going to keep it as one file where all the commands are together with the configuration. The only thing I also have to figure out is like how to manage spacing with Go, because right now the way it works for our test data, so the way it looks is mostly like just there's no spacing, there is no new lines or anything like that. So we just have to figure out how to add the new lines. So the configuration file doesn't get more unreadable. And the way it works right now is that we have a way for us to add. So we have this here, which is what we use to add new commands. And the way that the new commands are added is just being appended to a command. It's just adding it to the JSON, to a map, to our command map. But it would be cool if at the same time we could just here online, here after we add a command, we save it to our configuration file. The only issues that we have is that we don't have the full configuration here. So here we only have the configuration for the command. In reality, we need to have access to this object here. So we just have to make sure that we add this command here. We need to make sure that we are able to pass this whole thing, because when we save it, we need to be able to yeah, so it wouldn't work correctly because there will be a circle of dependency too, so we will have to figure that out. The goal is to be able to, the more I think about it, the more I wanted to make it into a separate file. Maybe that might be the best way to do it, just make it into a separate file, and then we don't have to worry about any of the weirdness that's gonna happen. So we could have one file for the configuration, and then we could change we could just take, yeah, I'm gonna do that instead. I think I'm gonna go with a separate file because then I don't have to worry about like the circular dependency we're gonna end up with. Okay, so the way it's gonna work is that we're gonna create a new file here, and we're gonna call it commands.json. So command.json is the one that's gonna have all the commands. And in reality, it's just gonna look like this. Now, the only issue I could think of right now is how. Okay, so the question now is, should we make this file the default way to our commands too? Or do we keep both? So right now we have this one here, which is the one that we use for the configuration. And we have this one. I think I'm just gonna get rid of the configuration one and just have one that handles it. Okay, so that means that we are just gonna add more commands as we go. So let's do that. It will make it a lot easier for us. And then we don't have to worry about the circular dependency that we have. But yeah, that's kind of what we're gonna be working on. And then I'm gonna also think about some other projects that I'm gonna work on. And I have an update about my schedule too. So in about 2 weeks, I will be starting my new role. So I will be starting a new job. So I would need to change my streaming schedule. So I'm thinking of doing like late night Monday, so around 8 p.m. Eastern on Mondays, and then Thursday, or I'm dividing between Thursday or Tuesday, but Thursdays around like same time, so 8 p.m. and then like Saturday around like 9 or 10 a.m. So that's kind of the schedule that I'm thinking about for the stream, and it's gonna start not next week, but the following week. And before that, so next week I'm gonna take a break, and then after that, the new schedule will start. Just so we could get used to it. So it will be Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, Eastern, and then Saturday around 10 a.m. Eastern. And I will update the schedule for the stream too. So if you go to the About tab or to the Schedule tab, you should be able to see the new schedule there, maybe starting tomorrow. And then the gaming stream might change too a bit, just depending on work. Okay, so with that out of the way, so we're gonna go back here. I'm just gonna teach. So we have config. Okay, so I just gonna teach this here out of. So we're gonna create a new one, or no. So let's just not rebuild this one. So the way it will work. What do I want to do here? Let's just create a new function for now, and it's gonna take a path. And then it's gonna return a config. And so we're gonna start parsing the JSON file here, and then we're gonna return an error as well. Okay. And okay, so conf is a pointer to config, which is all right. So we are just gonna be doing pretty much the same thing that we're doing inside of config here. So we are gonna be reading the file, and then we are gonna be marking in it. And that's kind of what we're going to return back to the user. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing there. And then we're going to change this conf. I also change where the chat is. So if I look that way, it's because I'm looking at to see if anyone said anything in the chat. Okay, cool. So now we have that. So the next one we need to do is add a new method to the config. So we got adding a new method here that is going to let us just save the configuration. So the goal here will be to take the configuration and save it into a file. So we are just gonna use, so we're gonna do bits error JSON that marshal. So we're gonna marshal the interface, and here we're gonna just do conf, and okay, I think that's pretty much it. There was not no. So I'm still trying to kick my habit of doing of putting a space between the error statement and then where the error happens. So here we're gonna return that. Okay. Here return nil here, and we are then gonna use so I think IO util has a way for us to save, so we're gonna use that. So IO util, write file. We have to add a path JSON, and we just want to ignore it. So I think to ignore it, I just have to do this here. Wait. Okay, yeah. So I am gonna do c.conf path, which is where we're gonna save it, and then here we are just gonna pass b. Oh, and we also need to pass the configuration for. I think this is the one we've been using. Cool. Yep. Wait for. Yep. Okay. So I believe drive file returns an error. Yep. And we are just gonna error now. And here we are just gonna return pretty much the same error. Fill. Okay. Cool. So now we have a way to save the file. So we have a way to wait, but we're not adding commands here. Okay, so this is, we will have to add a way to add new configurations too. So the goal we to be able to save the files, we might be writing for multiple Golang chains, so we want to protect that too. Cool, we do have a new subscriber. Oh, well, not a new subscriber. Thank you for resolving SSP. I appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the channel. Hey. Okay, so we're just gonna do a command. Oh wait, do we need to do that command? Yeah, I think so. So here we are gonna just take a command. So and it's not going to return an error. It's just going to add it to our map. Okay. So here, we need to have a name for the command, which is a string, and we are going to take a lock here. So we're going to do lock. So since we're going to be writing from multiple Go routines, we are going to we need to make sure that it's stress safe. So we're going to lock here. And so we're never going to read for this. The only place we're going to be reading from it is when we're starting off for the first time. Every other time it's just going to be more of like just adding to it, and when we restart, it's going to pick it up. Okay, so then here we are going to do t.command. Not what I wanted. I still need to get rid of that autocomplete like snippets, because it's not helping. Sometimes it's like just getting on the way. And this doesn't have to be a pointer. Okay, so here, okay, that should work. And in this case, we are going to do do I save the configuration somewhere? I don't save it anywhere. That's something we're gonna have to do here too. So we're gonna do a.conf the command, and then the name of the command, and we're gonna create a new command extract, and in here it's gonna have a description. Oh wait, this make a lot easier command. Then it's gonna have a description, and then it's gonna have a message. Wait, where is him? Oh, message. Okay, so now that will save it for us. Here I just want to add a new field to our struct, which is going to be conf, and then that's going to hold the configuration for us. So the goal will be super nice. It will be, yeah. So here we're just gonna come and is a pointer to config. Okay, and we have to go back here. And here we just have to add a path. Okay, I think this should get us what we want. So what we want to do is when we add a command through the Twitch chat, we want to be able to store that command and be able to continue, like just save it. So when we restart again, the command itself is loaded and we're able to use it again. Okay, so we have to start using our new configuration file. So we have to change our name. Here we are going to change. Let's see. So we are not going to do that anymore. We are just going to create a command config, and then we are just going to do commands that new config, and we're going to pass. Right now, we're not doing so much. Since we're building inside of our directory, we're not handling the configuration correctly, but we could do that. To read the commands. And error. And we want to handle the error, but first I'm just gonna pass a command here. Okay, so now the configuration has the necessary it has the necessary configuration files. So speaking of the commands file that we created before, here we're just gonna fatal if we can open the file. Okay, so that will fail there. So we will not start up. Then we have command config. Cool. And we missed one here, but we need to do save. So c.save. Oh, wait. No, we're gonna call it from here. We also have to take a lag for saving. So this one's gonna return an error. Okay. So I think I should just take a lag inside of the config too. So a config dot save. So save is the one that is going to be saving the information to the file. And here we could just do we return? Oh, we should make this return error too. Okay, let's check that I don't need this file anymore. Okay, so the way it works is that we are loading our configuration by calling new config for the command struct. Then we have a command.json file, which is going to have all the commands inside of it. Then we're passing that to our new command. So we're calling command.new in our commands module. So, and then we're calling stars. So that's gonna start listening to those commands. And then here, when someone that is a moderator or a broadcaster, when they do a CMD, it will then, oops, this is unneeded. Okay, it's gonna then, if they're now a moderator or a broadcaster, it's gonna return an error back to the user saying that they don't have a, well, it's gonna return an error. The user will not see that error. But it's just gonna say, hey, this user doesn't have access to that command. Then we are gonna ask for 3 arguments, which is the name of the command, so the command itself, the description of the command, and then the message that the command is gonna be returning. So we parse all that information and we get the command name, description, and message. Then we call a add command method. Then that method's job is to create the commands themselves. So it's gonna create a command. Yeah, so it creates the action for the command. So the action is the function that we run with that we run to for every command to make sure that it works. To check that we send the message to the Twitch chat server. Then here we are gonna take that information and we're gonna create a new command struct which has a description and an action. So the action is the function that we created in line 11. Then on line here, this line 200, we are appending that command. So we took a LAC. So we have a LAC right now. And then that LAC is in charge of us. Wait, did I remove the LAC? Yes, I did. Okay. So this wouldn't work correctly because I took off the LAC. They don't LAC, so it will LAC forever. Okay. So we create a structure. It has a description and action for command. Then we add the command to our map, which has all the commands, and which is how we find when the command works correct. How we find if a command is valid or not. And then we add that command to the configuration. But here's the thing. That command is already part of the configuration. Okay, so that's a mistake. This code shouldn't be here because we are calling, we're calling add command here too. So that means that we're going to be adding the commands like 100 times and then saving, even during start when we're starting up. So maybe the best option will be to just move this portion here to here. Okay. So the issue was that we are running, when we're first creating our initial command struct, we are calling add command, which is just read the file, the configuration, the command file, and is adding all the commands there. The issue that happens is that if we're going to be saving every single time the same command. Even if we have it saved, the command is going to try to save it to the file. So we shouldn't do that at all. Okay, so I moved it into our action for this command itself. Okay, so here we have some of this information changed. So we have command name, and we have the description. Okay, and then the message. And here we are just going to return an error saying so this error is going to come from saving if we're not able to save it. So it's going to be And we should let the user know that happened. So we're gonna send a message to the user that created the command, and we're gonna be like, let's see. We're just gonna do the same thing. So the user will see that command too. Sorry, the user. So whoever ran the command will see that command as an error. Okay. And we need to make a change to our save. So save needs to. We should take a lock here. So we are just saying that while we're saving the file, everything should wait until we unlock. So we're kind of just making sure that we don't override the command. So if we're adding a new command and then at the same time we're calling save has to wait until the other command is done, and then it's gonna take a lock, and then we unlock it. So here's how it's gonna go. Okay. Cool. And then the missing piece now is that I added a bunch of other commands. So we need to update our configuration of our command file. Okay. So let's see, let's just close all of this. Okay, so commands. This is our command file looks like. Because we have, so I added a new. So we have a new command too for watching the new YouTube videos. So I will try to every time I change a YouTube video. Sorry, every time I add a YouTube video to our YouTube channel, I will update this link for us. But these are the two commands we have right now. Okay, so now if you go here and we cancel this and we start it again, we just see what happens with the commands. So first I want to make sure that our command, and we're reading the correct file. So today, okay, so that works correctly. And if we add that file command, so if I copy this here and I run it, see what happens. Okay, so let's see how our configuration file looks like. Okay, so I had to check it off the stream because I want to make sure that we're not copying too much information. So here we see this file. Because we're not doing any spacing and tab, like the spacing is so it's kind of unreadable because of how it's structured. So we should figure out how to do add tabs to Marshall. So Marshall. Okay, so there is JSON ident. So we can try that one. I think that's the one I was looking for before. So I'm gonna close this and open it. Oh, I have to go back here. Okay, so here we just want to make sure that our configuration file is saved with in a prettier way. So we just want to go to here, and we're gonna change this to Marshall ident, and we're gonna pass the input. Then I believe we could just look at the instructions for it. Okay, so the perfect, and then the indentation that we want. So we want to do no perfect, and then is it 2 spaces that they're doing? Nope, they're doing a couple of spaces. So we could just do the same. Okay. It's C, not B. Okay. Cool. And what was another command that I added? So I had a list of commands that I wanted to save, so we could just go to that. Okay. Cool. So if we go back to our config file for commands, wait, save it. What was the command? It did add it, but did I not save it? No, I did. That is weird. So we can just run it again. Let's see what happens. Nope. So I wonder what I did wrong with this. Okay. So this is how it looks. No. Huh. Ooh, no, but it is saving it correctly, so I wonder what it is. Okay, so the main issues right now is like the way, so usually use marsher indents to do it, but for some reason it's not working for me. Let's see. There might be a better sample somewhere in here. So the prefix and the indentation for it. Wonder if it's something to do with how it's already there, but it should be alright in there. Okay, so we could just take out. Oh, you know what? That was my fault. I didn't restart it. Okay, so we could try it again. Yeah, so I didn't restart it, so it just nothing was gonna work correctly. Okay, and then if we go back here, we open it again. Okay, so this looks correct. I want to get rid of one space. Okay. Cool. So wait. Another thing maybe that we need is a way for us to refresh it more often. To refresh the configuration. So let's say that I want to manually remove a command or add it. I don't want to restart the server. So let's see. Where am I? So here. Yeah, so let's say I want to change today. Well, I don't have to do it from here. I could just do it for the command. So I could just do, so I could do today. So wait, so here I could just do and I could do just empty and then So what we're going to be working on next is I want to be able to show the alerts for subscriptions. That's going to be what we're going to be working on next. So let's see what are today. Okay, so let's see how this one looks. Okay, yeah. So that updates our message. Cool. So that means that I don't have to refresh it. If I want to ever change what we're working on today, I can just do it from here and I'll update the command itself, which is kind of cool. So I just thought of a race condition that we might have. So when we're parsing the message here, it should probably lock here. But it should be a relock, so let's just find. And I think I messed up somewhere where I called it. Yeah. So the goal will be to just take a relock where we are parsing our message. So when we're reading from the array, from the map, we should just do a lock there. So then we don't have a race condition. So the race condition will be like we're adding a new command and then we're calling that command right away. But the command is not there yet. So because we're adding it somewhere else. So here we're just gonna lock. Well, I don't have to do all the work, so let's just do it here. Okay, so we're taking a lock, then a relock. So we're just locking here for reads. So that means we could have multiple places reading at the same time. Then we're gonna go into our map, check if the command is there. If it's there, we're then gonna call action. So the method action is the one that we're going to call. Sorry, the function action is the one that's going to be doing all the work for the command. So each command has its own action. So like specific commands like the shutdown ones and different like other things are they have custom actions, and there is like the default action, which is just sending a message back to the chat without doing any calculations. Cool. Let's see. So that should do it. Cool. Now I want to check that we didn't break any tests. Okay, so we did break some stuff. Lack of a. So I did something I shouldn't be doing somewhere. So oh, there we go. So the issue was that I was just unlocking. I took a relock, but I unlocked just a regular lock. So that was why the error happened. And now we have another error. So maybe because I changed the configuration of settings. So line 182. So I think the issue here is commands is not initialized, but I want to make sure. I want to make sure that since it's not initialized, what is the thing that we're getting back. Okay, so it's an empty map. How do we check if it's an empty map? No, it's not empty. It's just not initialized at all. We try that. It's not here. It's in our configuration file. So in our configuration file, we just have to check if it's not initialized. We just have to initialize it ourselves before we try to append anything to it. Okay, so here. Ooh. I just thought of something that might. So if you're doing any testing, we're just gonna end up with a bunch of configs. So we're gonna have to fix that too. Okay. So here we just have to do if c dot commands equals nil. We have to initialize it, so we're gonna do c dot command make, and we're just gonna make it. We are just gonna initialize it. So if it's empty, we're gonna initialize it, and then we're gonna add the command, and then we should see the next bug. Which is like, there is no place to save the file because the path for it's not right. Because we're passing, so in our tests, okay, in our tests, we are just passing the configuration is just empty, and there's no path for it. That's kind of the downside of it. We're not adding a path to it. So I wonder if... So I think Go has a way for us to create like a temporary directory. So maybe we could just use that. Yeah, so there's a temp file, so we could use the temp. It might be better to use a temp file. Can we get, so we have a temp file. I wonder if I could get the path of the temp file. Here, and it returns a file. So what I need is a path. So I don't need to check if it's the same file. So we could just, I think, inside of file name. Okay, so we have a temporary file, and we just need to figure out how to get the path to the temporary file. So maybe this is the path. Okay, so we could try that out. So here we are going to create a temporary file, and we're going to call it commands and then we're gonna use a test name as a way for us to. Okay, so here we are going to do test.name. Okay. If it fails, we are going to return an error. We are just going to fail the test. So t.fatal. Fail to create temp. Patient file. And in here, I'm just going to do that. And for now, I just want to print. I'm going to print the name. So I'm not sure. We have temp file, then name. So I want to make sure that the name that we want is in there. Okay. Yeah. So what does name return? Oh, it's a string. Okay. Then we just have to clean up the name. So sorry, we just have to clean up the temporary file that we're going to be creating. So we should take care of that too. Okay. So here we do that, and then for our test configuration, that path is just going to be temp file name. Okay, so we are adding we're removing the file at the end, so that when the function is finished doing the test function is done, we're going to remove the file. But as part of the cleanup, we are then adding a path to our config, which is where we're going to read it. And then we're going to use test.config. So let's see if that worked. Still failing. Which one is that one? So we're, instead of two of them failing, oh, I see. That's a different test. So this is line 63. 163, 163. Yeah, so we're not doing that. So we have to just do the same. This one is the one that is reading. Sorry, we are adding a command, and then we're reading from that command. So temp file. We just need to move this here, and then add it to 963. Okay. So it goes here. In this case, we just gonna have to create a new. Oops. I didn't do that. So we're gonna create conf, and it's just gonna be gonna be a config. Oh, we could just add path here. Okay. Cool. And here we don't need any of this because this is the only test. It's just one test that is running. We're not using table-driven testing here, so we could just call it. And here we are, oops, here we are just gonna pass big here. Okay, that should get our test running. Okay, and we just need to run update now. Nope, what is missing here? Let's see. Oh wait, that doesn't look right. Why is it trying to? Oh, because there's a message. Display name. Hey, what is wrong with this one? We should also find where this print statement is coming from. I'm gonna take a bit of a break. I'll be right back. Again, thank you for subscribing and supporting the channel. Cool. We're back. So we are getting an error. So one of the tests is failing because it kind of doesn't match what we're expecting. So we can just run this through a dev tool. So to make sure that there's no difference. So this is what we got. Oh, wait, that doesn't seem right. So this is a map. Why are we getting a map? Okay, so oh, this is some. Ah, so the issue is this is a list. This is a map. So we need to figure out why that's happening. So wait, but why is? Oh, I see. I think here we just want to get one message. But where is the? Why is it not updating? So if I do update, okay, there we go. That's the kind of the issue. We were expecting the what we were getting is a array, and what we wanted was not, and for some reason it was not updating. So now it just finished updating. Okay, so now that we have that figured out, let's move on to. So I wanted to when new people subscribe, I want to be able to show a message saying same thing as we have for followers. We want to do the same thing for subscribers. So when someone subscribes, we want to just show a message that says like username X just subscribe, and then we play a sound like we do for for followers. So I'm gonna do the same thing for subscriptions. So that's kind of what we're gonna be spending the remainder of the string doing. So first, I want to one thing that we don't have is a way for us to test all of these notifications. So I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to have like an endpoint or something that we could go to, and it will show the notification in the stream, even if it's just like my name or the channel name. So what I want to do is see if there is a way for us to get a channel name. We do have the channel name here. So we could use that for now. We could use that as a way for us to know the name of the channel, and then we could just use that channel name saying Miguel Cole TV just follow us, or Miguel Cole TV just subscribe to us as a test to make sure that the notification is working correctly. So I am going to be adding a new endpoint. So we have goals. So I'm going to create a new one just called test. Oops. So yeah, or maybe just I'm gonna call it just test event. So make test events. And the goal of this new API is to be able to test the events themselves. So let's look at some of our past APIs and see how they look. We want to do API goals. Okay. Okay, so we just have to create a new. Maybe the test. Oops, maybe test is not a good name for it. Sorry, events. I'm just gonna call it test.go. Or maybe triggers. So I'm gonna move this test.events to triggers. And then here I'm just gonna create a triggers.go. So the goal is now to be able to okay, so we don't really have a way for us to test any of the alerts that we have in the string. The goal will be to just add a way for an endpoint. So I want to do something like API dot trigger dot or triggers and do new follower. Wait. It's not running because it crashed. Oh, it doesn't know how to handle. Wait, why did it crash? Oh, Copter sent a message with a subscription. Thank you for subscribing, Copter. What am I guessing? Okay, so we have another issue. We don't know how to parse these messages. So I'm gonna create a new issue to our streaming tool. Hey, Copter. What am I guessing? Oh, yeah, you have a 2-month sub streak. It's tonight. Today is Friday. No, we're not gonna move it. I won't be streaming. I'm taking a break from streaming starting today. So we might have to do today. If we don't do it today, it's gonna be 2 weeks from now. Okay, so we hear handle sub messages or RC client cannot handle sub. So it crashed because we don't know how to handle those messages. So I created a new. Okay, that wouldn't work. Okay, I ended up creating this issue for us. Let's see. Oh, you have D&D. Oh, it usually starts. It starts late. At what time do your DMD ends? Okay, so I ended up creating a ticket for that crash that we have. So Copter just resubscribed with a message, and we didn't do anything. Dungeons and Dragons, I believe that's what he's talking about. He's doing. Wait, do you finish your character? I thought you were not gonna finish it. Okay, so we're gonna create a new package called Trigger. Triggers. And here we want to do type. So we just want to recreate something like this. You are I am a half orc wizard. Cool. You're a criminal. Okay. We're gonna do triggers as a struct. And it takes a conf. Just a config. We just need a config for this one to get a channel name. That's very funny. Maybe that we should make that part of the stream. We do a D&D campaign, but I don't know any good. Like, I'm not really good at storytelling, so we might have to find someone to do the campaign. Or we could learn it in the stream. There is no abusing here. Thank you, SSB, for the water. Also remember, if you abuse your powers, I'm gonna remove your yeah. So you're gonna lose your powers over here. Where is it? Oh wait, I don't. Oh yeah. Why do I keep turning it on and off? I think you can. I could give Copter a timeout. Here. Wait, I timed out the wrong person too. That's very funny. I timed out SSB. I didn't mean to time out her. I mean, they. Or Mr. SSB. Yeah, I meant to time out you. That was a failure on my part. That was a big failure. No. Wait, how do I get her back? Him. They. Oh. Wait, it's Mr. SSB, so it's he. How do I get... Here, Copter, you could go in a timeout too. So both of you are in a timeout. What is 100? Now I just need to figure out how to remove timeouts. I don't have the... Oh, let's just open the mod too. Let's see. That's not what I want. Okay. Let's close that. I'm trying to get them back. I think I was a bit heavy-handed with it. Blocking over here with the timeouts. Copter and SSB, I am trying to figure out how to get you guys back from the timeout that I just gave you. It's a 10-minute timeout, so it's a very long time. Okay, sorry, it's loading. Hang in there in the quiet corner. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, there we go. Copter is out of the timeout. We need to get SSB back from the timeout corner. Wait, where did the SSB go? Oh, it's right here. Oh, you also lose your moderator. And then I have to make you moderators. SSB say something, so I could add you back as a moderator. Yeah, so if you time out a moderator, they lose their powers. Yeah, don't make me do that again. I say with an evil laugh. Yeah, if you do it to... I don't think you could do it to Copter. Because then you lose your moderator powers. I mean, then Copter loses his moderator powers, so I don't think it will let you. But I had to go to like to be able to take off the timeout. I had to go through like a very confusing setting somewhere. But yeah. Also, I didn't mean to time you out SSB. I meant to time out only copter. I would call it a timeout failure. Okay, so we are adding a new endpoint, which is called trigger. Then if we go to our main file, and you broke the overlay. I haven't changed anything on the overlay. It should have just grown, but we found a bug. Okay, in our main file, we are gonna add our new endpoint. So, yeah. So here, we need to do yeah, it's not wrapping for some reason. Handle API that triggers or yeah, let's do that and see if we could trigger it. I think I see if the endpoint is there. Be nice to each other. What am I doing wrong here? It says I might have done something I shouldn't. No, that looks right. So why is it complaining? So Copter, how's your 400 hours of Rust going? Not sure what that error is, so I'm just gonna restart this for now and see. Yeah, that's what you're aiming for, no? Oh, maybe I spelled it wrong. Oh, server is surf. Yeah. Oh, so you're not denying it, huh? You have. Okay, so if I do trigger, get empty screen, and I think I wonder if this is gonna work. New follower. Yeah. Okay, so here we now have a way for us to have. So we have an endpoint called trigger, and we could do new events. So now the thing I need to figure out is how do I get the path? I wonder if I have to do some extra stuff. So, so I'm using. What am I using for our server? I'm using. So I'm using servmux. I need to get the path. So I can just split it. I have the request path. Okay, so the goal is to be able to get a endpoint that we're going to be using for testing our ACP server. So we want to be able to test. Actually run it in a different port. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so we want to be able to that one here. I'm just gonna start a different port so we could keep our main server running, and we have our so yeah, that will be more helpful. So here, this one. Okay, let's just get. We are gonna save this file. Wait, why don't you want to save? Save. Nope, it's failing. Okay, so here I'm just gonna do bin main, and I'm gonna change the port that we're listening to port from 8080 to just port 81. And then that means that we could just listen on that port. So we are gonna do go run main. We don't really care about that. Weird things are gonna happen if you run a command, so don't run a command. Okay, so here is the endpoint that we want. We are this here works correctly. Oh, it wouldn't work. Okay, so why? Oh, I know why. So here we have trigger that trigger, and I had some saving issues before, so it didn't save. So we're gonna do print, and we're gonna do request that URL and then path. And again, we are not using any frameworks for this, so if you see anything weird. Okay, so we're here, trigger it, and this is the path. So we need to be able to get the last part. The one we care about is followers, new followers. So I think we should split it. Okay, pieces, path. And we are going to use strings that split. And we care about action, so I'm going to call it action, and we care about, so we care about, this is 0, 1, 2, we care about 2, piece 2. And we're going to split by here. Is that right? Yep. Okay. Now the issue is that we need to check out the length. So this length has to be equal to 3. So in this case, if it's not equal to 3, we are going to return an error. So we're going to do HTTP that. We're going to do error, and then we're going to write to it, and we're going to do HTTP that status request, and we're going to return. Wait, what it means? Oh, missing. HTTP status. Okay, so get rid of this for now. So to make sure it works, we could start it again, and we're gonna refresh it. Oops. We are gonna refresh it, and then it's gonna say, why is this a missing action? Okay, so we're getting the error, but we shouldn't be getting that error. So because we have the correct number of paths, maybe it's 4. I want to make a change here for now. We are turning this off, and we are turning the commands off too. So that is off. I just have to remember to turn it back on. Okay. So this is a second server. So it doesn't really matter. Wait. Okay. Sure, it doesn't like it. So. Oh, there is 4. Oh, there is an empty. There's this here. Oh, wait, no. One. It's the first one. Probably empty space. You want to trim the empty spaces? I do. Wait, where is there empty space? So the issue is like there is an empty space somewhere, or no, there's 3. Okay, so there's an empty space somewhere that we have to get rid of. And I don't think it says, it might be at the beginning, so we could just do that. So we could just stream it. So we could do stream that. Wait, which is the stream that we have used stream before, and there's one that we decided that would be the better one to use. Grip. Oh wait, we did. Gonna check server. Okay, so we are using the regular one. Trim. Okay, we're gonna trim it. Where you want it? Any empty spaces. Okay. Oh. I ended up losing my chat window because I was trying to figure out how to on timing out. Cool. Okay, so here, still, I wonder why. I guess that's okay. We could make sure. CO4 most likely, so we just need to make sure that nothing weird is happening. Yeah, CO4. So that we don't need the stream. Okay, 4. And then save this. start our server. Okay, so that's working. Now we do and this is because the reason why I have to do this is because we're not using any kind of routing framework or anything like that. So we're not using any package, so we're still using the default. So that's kind of why we have to do some of these things manually. Oops, what is the error? It's 3, now 4. And this is the error we want to prevent. Okay. So this is the action that we want to take. So this is this is the action we're going to take. So okay, now we should check. It says, so here we are going to do switch and action. The default action is just http.error and here is just gonna be unknown action, so we don't know what action the user wants to take here, and then we're gonna return a status of 404. Not found. So we're gonna return a 404 here, and here we are gonna do case, and the first case is new follower. Okay, then if it's a new follower, we are just gonna return a action. So we triggered the action. Cool. So one thing that we're missing is the event. We're missing our event client, so we need to figure out how to do that one. Okay. Then this event was triggered, but there is no event to be triggered. Now I feel like we are going to have a bunch of repeated call. Okay, so this is how new chat events are being sent. So we should probably move this, at least portion of this, into the event. Yeah, so we should move some of these things into the event stream, because then we could just pass a message or things like that, and we don't have to like set up the whole thing ourselves. And then same thing with refresher. So the way that refresh works, it's kind of also just doing a lot of work and then sending the message, but maybe we don't have to like expose all this information. We could just add it to the event here. So we could build these different messages ourselves, because like for a new follower and a new subscriber, the only difference is just we're putting the display name. So if we create a new have a send message, no, so that's kind of what we need to do. So here we could just add a new method to the event struct that is just send event, and it takes a What is this type? Okay, it takes a event type. So event type. So we have event type. Let's just call it event type. So we have the event type, and then we have the message, which is just a string. And we don't return anything. Okay, let me close this. So that means we could just take this whole portion here. So here it will be message, so whatever message we're sending, and here it will be the event. So whatever event type we're doing. Okay, and then here we could just do e dot message. This is our channel, and we could just write to that channel. Get rid of this. One thing we could do is also make, instead of making message, let's just keep it like this for now. Okay, so that's kind of, we could get rid of. So here we could do w dot event dot send. Okay, I'm gonna rename it to send because it sounds better. So we could take this here, and then we're gonna do new followers display name. So for new followers, we are just sending that to the client, to whatever's listening for that event. That's kind of the only thing we're sending. Okay, so to recap again, sorry, is what we're trying to achieve is a way for us to be able to test events without having to like manually do it ourselves. We are creating a new endpoint. So the events themselves are events that show up in the string. So when someone subscribes, when someone follows us, we want to be able to test those features. So what we're doing right now is a way for us to just trigger the features themselves. So when I go to our new endpoint that we created, so I go here and I do new follower, it should trigger a event in the stream, and it should just, the notification for a new follower should just drop down. Okay, cool. So that's kind of how new follower should be done. And then we could do the same thing here. So we could get rid of some of these duplicated code and do new follower. Instead of new follower is a new subscriber. And then here is just subscriber. Okay, and we could get rid of that, and we could get rid of this here. Cool. So that's pretty much what we need to do here, right? It's like, and for our test cases, so we could get rid of this, and then if we go back to our API, we could then here do something like stream event. So we don't have the event struct here, but we could get it in a bit. So here we are going to just do that follower, and we could get rid of, so here for now, I think I have to rework this a bit more, but for now I'm just use conf that, is it Twitch that see, is it name or no, there is channel. So where is channel? I think I'm missing something here. Channel ID, no, it's not what I want. this one. So many things open. RC. Okay, so it's just called channel. So we're gonna use the channel name to send the test message. Okay, and then here we just have to add event and event. And then here we are just gonna add event. So the goal is, so now we have our so the stream server, the stream package, module is the one that handles sending events to their overlays. And since we're passing it from inside our handler, we're able to just make requests to it. So if we do main go, and then we go to triggers, and here we pass this event. Yeah, pass event. Oh, I didn't rename it. So when I call it something else, I called it send event, but it feels repetitive. So, oh wait, I did. I just didn't save it. Yeah. I want to make sure that it's running. So here, now this is running. We could go here and then see what happens. You trigger an event. We could go to. Oh, it didn't trigger our event in the chat on the chat because the chat is running in a different port. So we will have to just do it here. Overlay. I think it's chat. Alerts. I forgot what I called my the different alerts. Overlays. So notifications. Okay. So this is what I called it. Then we changed the port for it. Okay. And then here, if we refresh. Okay, there we go. So that's how our notifications will look like. Why do we hear the sound? Oh, so sound's broken. I think the sound's broken unless I take an action or something like that. But it works correctly. If we trigger it, then we should see a notification coming through. So we want to do the same thing for new subscribers too. And we're using a event, our event server. Our server send event is doing all the work here. So let's see. If you're wondering, okay, so this is how it looks. And then we refresh here, and we should see an event coming through. Okay, where is the event? Yeah, so we see the event there and the name. So this is the name of the channel, so it's going to say our name. So we want to do the same thing for follower one. And I think we made it. It looks a bit too big. So for now, is there a way for me to save this? Nope. So I'm going to just go back to a different side. So I could turn this off here. And so this is the alert. Do it twice. Just see it twice. Okay. So we want to do the same. We might also want to rework the tags, but for now, we are going to do a different thing here. We are going to create a new one, a new event. So close this one. And then we just want to trigger the new follower event. And it's going to be the same name, right? So we're going to be using so this is mostly for testing purposes, making sure things work correctly for ourselves. Because last time we tried this, we had to do some work around I'm not sure if Copter and SSB remember, but they ended up just following and unfollowing a lot. Okay. So this one here now should trigger. So now we should be able to trigger a. So we also get the messages for new followers when someone subscribes. Sorry, when someone sends a message in the chat, but that's okay because we could selectively pick which messages to see. Cool. So now here, if we do new subscriber, you see a message with a new subscriber. So we could use that for the notifications. Okay, so we could close all of this. Now we're going to be doing some JavaScript. So let's just look at how our overlay is done. So we're going to be reusing the notification overlay. And depending, what did I call it? So depending on the event that we get, we then are going to just do something different, right? If it's a so new follower, we're going to show this. If it's a new subscriber, we're going to show this. Yeah. Thank you for and then here thank you for I'm gonna call it sub, and then I'm gonna add exclamation point. Both of them get exclamation points. Okay, so we are gonna get a new image for our emote, and we are gonna add the audio here. Okay, so now we just need to make sure that the CSS works correctly. So we could try it out, see what we broke. Okay. So this one is showing because it's not hidden. So we need to do follow new follower. We're gonna give this a new name. We're gonna put this in the div. So we're gonna do div. Oh wait, because here we are gonna add new follower as new subscriber. Okay, and then we are gonna just add the new show class. Okay, cool. And then we trigger the event. Nothing should happen because the event is not connecting to anything. We could do a new follower. See what happens. Yeah. And then it's broken because we changed some of the stuff. Okay, so that works. We are now gonna have to fix why the other one didn't work. So let's see. Split just there's some weird stuff that we have to do to be able to not make so that how the sound works. So why didn't it work? Okay, so there is this thing that I have to do. So if I trigger it, then I click around, there should be a sound, but which is now show up in the screen for now. Okay. So I guess that's working. We just need to make sure that the sound works correctly. Okay. Show notification. I'm just gonna rename this to show. Okay. So here's the thing. We are gonna have to add more information here. So the way it works, so the way that when we built this like a month ago or a month and a half ago, we created a stack that takes all the events for new follower, it pushes them to the stack, and then we have a way for us to just check every and milliseconds how long, like when to show the notification. So we have a way to spread them out, right? So if 100 people start following us all at once, we wouldn't see 100 messages all coming at once. They will be spread out evenly. Yeah. Okay. So what we need to do is somehow continue using this, but add more information, right? So we need to make sure that this only triggers for new followers. So we could add. Oh wait, no, we have. Do we have the event type? If we have the event type, that would make a lot of sense, but I don't think we do. So event. No, we're only sending the user information. So here, so display name, I'm gonna turn this into a object, and we're gonna add some information. Display name, so the user's name, which is data, and then here we're gonna add event type, which is new follower. Okay, and we are just gonna put an up here, and then here we are gonna get an object back. In here we are going to do the same kind of check. So instead of just display name, we're gonna do object that display name, and okay. So the way it's gonna work is that we are gonna just look at the object, and here we are gonna check also an object event type equals new follower. Okay, so what we're doing is that we are going to continue using this show notification function, but we are going to wrap it that it's going to have two jobs. So show the notifications for a new follower, and it's going to also show the notification for a new subscriber. So we're going to have to decide on the sounds on the music too. Okay, so that's a new follower. So I'm just gonna take this here, and we are gonna update it to the new subscribe. So we are only gonna listen to the new subscriber event, and then we are gonna subscribe. So if we refresh here and we go to our JSON, so JSON by someone. There's an error there, so we're not. It's spelled. Yeah, we'll figure that out in a bit. But let's see if this is being triggered. If I do go back here and then do subscriber, yeah, it's been triggered. Then it goes down the stack, and then it fails here because wait, did I end up sending it wrong? Can I read of? Oh, so we should also make sure that object is found. Okay. This. Set ourselves an event. Between here. And it says subscriber, so nothing should happen. Cool. So we have that now. So I think the logic itself will be pretty much the same. So the way it will work, maybe I could do let element not display name, display name. So I might be able to read most of this. Where is the song? Okay, so this is the only difference. The audio is going to be different. But we could do let audio. Okay, so we might be able to reuse most of this function. Okay, so here we are gonna set the element, then we're gonna set the display element, and the last thing we should do is I'm gonna rename this to something else. I'm gonna call it follower. For context, we need to trigger this sound once because if we don't in OBS, it sounds horrible. There is a bug in OBS where the first time we play some kind of sound, is just sounds very bad. Okay, cool. And then here we are gonna do current audio element. And we're gonna do follower. So we're just setting the follower here because then we could just reuse. Wait, we could reuse most of this information. Okay, so we're gonna end up reusing most of this. So here, get rid of this. And then we could do if object is defined we are gonna do here. Or better yet, if element if element, and then we could set element 2 or null. Let's just do null. So if element is not equal to null, we are gonna do all that work. Okay, so we could just check see if this works. Okay, then we're gonna trigger a follower. Okay, so there's a follower event, and it works correctly. Oh, this has an error. Oh, it's pretty much the same error that we had before, so I have to click around. It's something that Chrome added to prevent advertising. Okay. For some reason, I'm not hearing the audio. So there should be a sound playing, but I can't hear it. So I wonder if there is like a loopback device turned on. No, it's not turned on. I don't know why I can't hear it. Okay, so I'm not sure why I can't hear it, so I will look at it later. Okay, so that's the one working for followers, so we didn't break that logic there. Another thing I just thought of is that I could take this whole thing and then do if. And we could, okay, so then here we could do another else statement and just be like, this is equal to new subscriber. We are now able to wait. Most of the work we want to do, the only difference is wait, what is the difference? The only difference is just class names. So we might be able to even use more. Except for the audio. The audio is going to be the weird one. So we should just handle the audio first. So for the audio, we are going to do this. So for the audio, we have to play both. So here we have to do something. We're gonna create a new function and be flow audio. Okay. Yeah, this might be better. So again, the main issues happens is like if I don't play the sounds before, like if I don't trigger them on silence, it wouldn't work correctly because of how OBS. So OBS is using Chrome in the background, but it doesn't work correctly for some reason. So I will have to play both sounds. And for now, I'm just gonna keep and call it. I'm gonna call it driver audio. And we're gonna change this. During the next stream, we're gonna pick up sound for us to play. Okay, so this function is gonna go load. So we have to create a new method here, and we're gonna call it subscriber. Ever. And so this is a notification, the sound that is going to be played during the stream when a new follower starts following us. Okay. And we kind of have to do the same thing here where we want to play it. So audio. We want to play it before with a zero volume. So yeah, we secretly play it. So and then we kind of do the same thing here where we're gonna do audio. I missed it. So audio. We have to play it. So play. Wait, do I play it? Yeah. And then we use stand. So this is kind of how we have to chain it. So first we're gonna play the follower sound with the volumes with 0 volume. Then we're gonna play the subscriber sound with 0 volume. And again, this is the weirdness is that there is a bug with OBS and how like it sounds really bad. Okay, cool. So I think that does it, but we could here and try it out. Volume, not defined. Oh, I don't think I saved this. Okay. Cool. So oh, I messed up. So I missed some of this stuff here. So here we are going to do object dot event type. Just want to make sure it is right events. Okay, it's gonna be follower. Let's see. Okay, so there's one, and we kind of want to do the same thing for a new subscriber. But here the difference will be the class names. Not the class name, the event type. We might be able to reuse most of the code, so we are gonna probably do that next. Okay, and then here we want to change this to 5. And we still have display name, so we could just leave that as it is. It's pretty much the same name. Okay, so let's see if this works. So follower, one follower. Okay, so there's follower. We got an error because I didn't interact with them. And then subscriber. We are blocking them. So wait, what is that one? Oh, weird. Okay, so something is wrong with that one. Doesn't add the name to it. Okay, that was weird because you should have added the name to it. So let's just refresh. We send a subscriber event. So we're okay. Oh, did I mess up? I messed up the exclamation points. There. There. Okay, so we're gonna have to trace it to see where it's failing. Then we trigger the event. Okay, so let's see where it's failing. So it has to be a display name. I'm just wondering why it's not. Set it. Okay. We could trigger it again. Okay. Display name. Oh, I know why. It's because we're reusing the name. Okay. So there's two of them, and I'm picking one. So I'm gonna have to change. I'm gonna call this sub. This is the issue because I'm using a class and I'm picking the first element. We're not changing the right element. Okay, so we could go back here. Here. Now we have it. Wait. Oh, I didn't save HTML side. Okay, so we try that again. Let's see. Okay, so that works. And if we do follower, okay, so that's our follower one. Okay, so we could now make this part of the stream. So let's find everything I commented out. We have to change the port back, so okay. So we are gonna restart this server. So this is the one that we're using for our overlays. But no, there. Change it to here. Okay. And now I have to go back here and turn on our application. So if I change this to 0 to here, follower event. No, we could. So that's the weirdness. That's the weird thing that happens. It's like that sound that you heard. It's the weird thing that. Okay, so that's a follower. And every single time it sounds very loud to me. So I might have to make it slower. Okay, so new follower notification sounds like this. a new subscriber notification. Sounds pretty much the same. I just look different. And it takes a bit. So it kind of only happens every 10 seconds. So I wonder if I broke it. Okay. You didn't see the new follower one, so I wonder if that one's broken. Why is it not showing part of the stream? I think I have to refresh the source. That might be the issue. Okay, we could try it again. Okay, so that's a new subscriber. And a new follower. Cool, so it works correctly. We just need to figure out the messages and everything else. But I think that's pretty much it for today. The next stream will not be next Monday, but 2 Mondays for now, so I will update the schedule. Make sure that is up to date. So it'll be probably from like 8 all the way to like 10:30 p.m. Eastern, so it's gonna be later. And so since I'm revisiting the schedule. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will see you later.